What's up, everybody? So I'm about to make a video that, seriously, it's been years I've been waiting to make this video. If you guys been watching my other videos, I've been talking about it quite a bit, saying I wanted to do it, hinting at it. Um, so I have two bikes in my whole life that I've wanted. I call them unicorn bikes. First one was a Honda CBR 900RR. Not a crazy expensive bike. Back in the day when they were in their prime, I was too young to ride. When I got older, I got a 929RR. Wasn't the same as the original 900RR, and it's still to this day one of those bikes that I just never got a chance to own. It was never the right time when they were available. Always had later and newer bikes. I mean, once you hit that 929, the 900 was really antiquated compared to everything else that was out there. Fast forward a few years, started getting out of the sport bikes, started getting into more cruiser style. I had, the Busa for a while, which, yeah, it's still a sport bike, but it's more of a sport cruiser at this point. Had a couple of naked bikes, really getting away from the aggressive sport bikes. Since 2014, I've been looking to get a Breakout, okay? And it just hasn't been the right time. Every time I found one for sale, I couldn't get the funds to, or I couldn't liquidate the bikes I had in time to get what I wanted. There was a CVO Breakout that came out for a while that was available, and I couldn't get it. Man, there was just a few of them, and even at my local dealership, there was a couple of used 2019s that came out that they had for sale, low mileage, that I almost purchased, and just for one reason or another, just never happened. I ended up buying my lowrider, ended up buying the Fat Bob. I've had the Fat Bob for about a year now, and literally only put about 1,000 miles on it, not even 900 miles on it. I just never rode the damn thing. Had my lowrider for the past 2 years now, put about 6,000 miles, which is quite a bit when you consider I work 60 plus hours a week. Love that bike, did quite a bit to it, but I bought that bike 2 months before the Breakout came out, and for 2 years, if you guys been watching my videos, you've been hearing me say I would really love to have a Breakout. Well, so I did a thing. I said screw the Fat Bob. Very reluctantly, the lowrider, and traded them both in and got my Breakout. There she is. I've had her for, it's been about 2 weeks now. Picked her up, Wesley Chapel, Harley-Davidson. Pete and Rich, awesome guys down here. I've been working with Pete for about 2 years now, telling him I'm gonna get this bike. Eventually it's gonna be mine, and finally I just did it. My wife's been telling me for close to a year now she's gonna ride, and the Fat Bob was gonna be for her, and she's done nothing to actually ride. So she literally gave me the go-ahead, and I went and did it. Traded them both in. I was slightly upside down on my lowrider, not on the Fat Bob, so it was pretty much a wash. I don't want to discuss price because they knew how bad I wanted the bike, so I probably paid a little bit more than I should, considering it's a leftover 24. I could have gotten the 25 probably for within $1,000 of this one, but I'll be honest, I just don't like the way the 25s, I don't like the changes on them. I certainly don't think it was worth $1,000 more. I don't like the way they did the speedo gauge on the new one. I don't like the air filter is kind of useless to me. I don't care about the ride modes, because eventually I'm going to probably void that warranty and get a new license for my Power Vision and turn it over to this. If you know Breakouts, you already know it's starting to look a little bit different. So today I spent the day doing a little bit of powder coating. Powder coated my handlebar levers, powder coated my shift rod, the front shifter, the battery cover on both sides. Yes, folks, you can powder coat over chrome. A lot of people tell you can't. If you do it right, you prep the surface correctly, you can powder coat over chrome. I wish I had a larger oven. If I had a larger oven, I would powder coat the primary cover and the rear frame supports, because I mean, I've obviously, if you see my Breakout, I can't stand chrome. Everything's blacked out. Eventually this bike will be as well, except for the orange accents. I still haven't even taken the reflectors off the bike. It's sitting with about 200 miles on it. I've only had one day off since I bought the bike. Stuck my fueling air filter on there. Still trying to figure out an exhaust, what I'm gonna do to it. I don't know if I'm gonna go. I like Gallop exhaust a lot. Their main shock, I think it is, or is their centric, one or the other, but it's a 2-into-2. And you know, I know 2-into-1 is really the performance way to go, but I just don't know. Yeah, I want power, I want the bike to run great and everything, but I just don't know if I care that much, if the trade-off of the looks of a true dual and the sound of a true dual is worth the extra 7 or 8 peak horsepower I'll get out of the 2-into-1. Let's see, what else have I done to it already? I think that's just about it so far. Like I said, it's only been 2 weeks since I've had it. I put my TC Brothers foot pegs on there, which I like a lot. I still haven't had a chance to pull the brake pedal off to black that out. Haven't decided if I'm going to just black out the transmission cover and the cam plate cover, or if I'm just gonna, I could buy, believe it or not, the transmission cover is like 89 bucks and the cam cover is like 150. So it's almost worth it to, I could probably sell the chrome ones on eBay and get, you know, 50 bucks for them, maybe 75 for the cam cover pretty easily, and it would recoup half and save me the trouble of having to prep them and throw them in there and cook them. So that might be worth it for me. Eventually I'll be getting some fork tube covers to black out the front end. I don't know if I'm gonna do new wheels. I kind of like the Harley-Davidson wheels. They're really not that bad. However, I would love to get them anodized, not the whole thing, just where you see the raw metal, have that anodized orange to match the tank. I think that would be pretty hot. I will put my Killer Custom risers on it. It'll drop them down to 2-inch risers, and then I'll put a pair of 12-inch Killer Custom bars, similar to what I had on my lowrider. Yeah, so that's the ass of it. Everybody's gonna comment and say, "Oh, we see your license plate. What are you, crazy?" No, I don't care. Anybody sees my license plate. It doesn't matter. People see it every day on the street. It always cracks me up when people blur out their license plates, because like everybody can't see you driving around. But anyway, so I love the ass on this bike. So you got to understand, if I would have kept my lowrider, I was going to put a fat tire kit on it, which would have costed me about $5 or $6 grand. I would have raked out the front, which would have cost me another $1,500, and then $1,000 for a 21-inch rim. And I basically would have had a lowrider Breakout, and so it literally is just stupid. For a lot less money, I was able to just trade my bike in and get a Breakout, which is the bike I've always wanted. You know, in my opinion, I like the front end better. I like the headlight style better than the little bikini fairing that's on the lowrider. I've just always been such a big fan of this bike. Yeah. Every time I look at this bike, I hear Arnold Schwarzenegger, "Get to the chopper." I just friggin' love this bike so much. Hopefully you guys will keep watching, even the lowrider fans and the Fat Bob fans. You know, not like I have a lot of followers, but the ones that do, I love answering questions, comments, and stuff like that. I think right now, so if I stick with warranty, I'm going to put another power cam like I had in the lowrider in there, the 462. And then, of course, the Harley-Davidson tuner, and that'll allow me to keep the warranty for the next 2 years. but I just don't know. I think I'm gonna say, once I get past that first service and I know the bike runs sound and I don't got anything to worry about, I really think I'm gonna put a Moonshine Harley 485 or a CR 485 cam in there with my Power Vision, and of course that'll obliterate the warranty, and get that thing a nice lopey idle. And shit, you combine that with a 64mm throttle body and intake, and that combination alone, without doing a big bore kit or anything, is getting like 125 to the ground, which to me is probably your best bang for the buck, because once you start going into stage 3 and stage 4, you know, between labor and everything else, because that is the only thing I won't do to the bike myself, is get inside the motor. You start getting up there into the $4,000 and $5,000 range, whereas just swapping out the cam, you know, putting that intake on there, you're talking about maybe $2,000, and that's from a dealer doing it, or at least my dealer doing it. That's what they charge me for the lowrider. Yeah, this is my new girl, and hopefully you guys are gonna stick around. I know it's missing the plate right there. I took that off. It's chrome. I just need an oven big enough so that I can powder coat it. I'm tempted to put it in my oven in my house, but I know you can't. You can't powder coat in the same oven you eat in. God forbid any powder got loose and went into food and people getting sick, so I can't do that. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is looking on Facebook Marketplace, trying to find a cheap oven, and then I'll do something there. Oh, I just realized I can powder coat those two little nuts that are on the back seat. Black them out. Yeah, maybe I'll have to do that tonight. I don't know why the hell I didn't think about that earlier. So yeah, hope you guys stick around. Hope you guys enjoy what I'm gonna do, the Breakout. Finally got one of my unicorn bikes. Who knows? Maybe next month I'll come across a 900RR. Just because I'm not into sport bikes anymore, if I found one at a reasonable price, I would still get one. Even if it just sat, I would still get one, just because it's there and I can. And man, another unicorn bike for me. That purple, white, and yellow one. If you used to be into sport bikes, you guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's it. Like I said, hopefully you guys stick around and have fun with me on the Breakout. See you.